Hello, new viewers, and welcome. We are going to be playing Loveriche, also known as Kinkoi Golden Loveriche. I am Seren Prince, here with
Man of Stage, and together we are Bridge Boys Broadcasting. Welcome, and thank you all for tuning in.
This is actually my first game that I've ever played by Saga Planets.
Same for me.
And I've heard nothing but good things. I've heard it got awards, and it's very well acclaimed. Like, a lot of people seem to really like it, so let's give it a shot.
All right, sounds good. For this playthrough, the way that we will be doing it is Seren Prince is going to be doing the MC's speaking voice, while I, Man of Stage, am going to be doing his head voice. Hope you enjoy.
All right.
Let's go! Let's go.
Mexico.
Mexico. Mexico.
金色だ。金色です。
It's definitely gold.
That golden color was where it all began. The aura's contents of that box marked the start of a golden time.
That's my gift to you.
いいの？イチ、ありがとう。
That was how I was able to speak to that girl. And what sparked my first love. Gold was the only thing I desired. That golden color, a pure, completely uncontaminated brilliance. Crystal clear and pristine. That was the sort of person I strove to be and nothing more.
じゃあどうして俺たちを裏切ったんだよ。
オーロくん、どうして？
Did I do that?
Just once, all I ever wanted was to take one confident step forward and be proud of everything I'd done. It's not like I wanted to show off. That was never the plan. So...
Hang on tight.
I never thought something like this would happen to me. It was easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment sometimes, right? Anyone would have done the same if they thought they were doing the right thing, which was how I'd gotten myself mixed up in this mess. No way was I trying to show off. I was simply playing along with this strange turn of events. All I wanted was to be golden. And as a result, I found myself sprinting through town with a girl dressed in a beautiful gown in my arms.
待て！待ちなさい君！
止まれ！
Stop following me.
あらあら。
Didn't this kind of thing happen to everyone? I mean, it hasn't happened to me, but sure.
Well, maybe not to you.
Aw. Actually, running around with a blonde-haired girl in my arms might actually be a rare occurrence. Still, I believed it could happen to anyone. Getting carried away in the heat of the moment. Letting events transpire where you end up showing off. Emptying your mind and making the most of the golden opportunities presented to you in that moment. By the way, if you wanted to know how I ended up in this situation, click to learn more.
話しなさい。
I heard someone shout while I was walking through town.
Okay. In the bottom left,
Yes?
there is a sign that says Spain Bar Caliente. Right?
Left.
Yeah. Like, bottom leftish.
Oh, yeah, I see
like
it.
Slightly down from center. Okay. Caliente. 1700 to 2600. That's not a fucking time.
Huh.
Sorry, that's just really aggravating.
No, that's really weird. It's got the two dots, so it's written like a timestamp in it.
Yeah.
Ha.
It's like the bar is so great it breaks the space-time continuum.
We stay open super late. Maybe that's like their equivalent of saying that they stay open till 2, but they had to be edgy about it.
I don't know.
Let's see. I had heard someone shout while I was walking through town.
話して。私にはやらねばならない使命があるの。
Before I had the chance to search for that voice. Bam! We ran into each other.
Oh, excuse me.
いえ、こちらこそ。
I thought she was a cute girl at first glance. Not only was she... She fine! Not only was she cute, but her outfit left one hell of an impact. If you know what I mean. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Say no more, say no more.
Well, yes, indeed. Judging by her outfit, I assumed she'd just come from some sort of ceremony. Upon her head sat a gem-encrusted tiara, which appeared to be quite heavy. To top it all off, she had a gorgeous figure and facial features. Pretty. Does that tiara really look heavy?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, like, what are the gems? Maybe they're like, you know.
That's fair. More than anything else, I was captivated by her almost otherworldly golden blonde hair. Her long hair was almost as brilliant as the sun itself, and gold. But not a moment later,
お待ちください。
I, or the girl who bumped into me to be precise, was surrounded by more than 10 men in black suits. She shot them a hostile glare upon their arrival, and they cautiously stepped toward me.
こっちへ来なさい。おとなしくして。
おかしな動作をするなよ。
Being spoken to in such a rude and pompous tone made me wary. The man had already drawn close, put his hand into his breast pocket, and just as he retrieved a certain black object.
Come with me.
If you want to live. I didn't think I was in the wrong to take that girl by the hand and run away. Well, after giving it some deeper thought, I may have been hasty to assume that they were drawing guns from their breast pockets in a society as gun-averse as Japan.
マルタイ友、至急応援を頼む。
He may have actually pulled out a transceiver, but either way, I ran for it. Violent-looking men were chasing a girl. Wouldn't anyone want to assure her safety first? As such, I didn't believe I had done anything wrong.
Can you not run?
ごめんなさい。ヒールが高くて。
Hey, that lady in Jurassic World managed to do it.
The maybe second best Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, it's true. She lifted up the hem of her dress, and her heels definitely weren't cut out for running. But that shouldn't stop you from trying, you lazy person.
Hang on tight.
Deja vu. We'd be in big trouble if she got hurt running in those heels, that much was obvious. As such, I only did what came naturally. I believed I had simply gone with the flow in the heat of the moment, but...
待てー
my ears.
姫様を離しなさい。待てこれガキ。
What?
There's so many of them.
This was a surprising turn of events. In the blink of an eye, what started out as only a handful of men quickly multiplied into the hundreds. If this kept up, I would run out of stamina and they would eventually catch up. Was it actually a good idea for me to run away in the first place? She wasn't resisting me in the slightest, so I assume I hadn't made the wrong choice, but...
Just to make sure, you do want to get away from those people, right?
そうね。今捕まるわけにはいかないわ。
If that's how she felt, then I guess it was okay. It would be bad if this turned into an endurance contest. I turned off the main road and slipped through the back alleys, partially to throw them off.
おっと。
おい、踏むな。
Even though her huge convoy attempted to keep up.
We're pushing through. Hang on tight.
I sped up in an instant. Was I showing off by telling her to hang on tight? Well, whatever. This isn't even my final form.
シルビー、デラックスメロンパン買えた？あれ？大丈夫かしら？
A little out of breath, I guess. I put like no points into my, constitution.
I've got dexterity, but I'm only good in short bursts.
Yeah, they're persistent. Isn't there anywhere to hide? Somewhere nearby.
After weaving through the back alleys of the shopping district, we eventually found ourselves near Hamamatsu Lake. Uh-oh, this spelled trouble. The perfect visibility and lack of roads more or less left us sitting ducks.
隠れるところ。一つ心当たりがあるけど。
Where?
あちらよ。
Where?
You're really committing.
Look, I almost died on my own spit. Let's not make fun of me here.
This is the perfect time.
All right.
With her guiding the way, we headed toward the lake. We came across a hill near Hamamatsu Lake. Given the abundant thickets, it looked like a great place to hide.
ここまで甘えてしまって恐縮だけど、私一人で走れるわ。
What?
What? Your heels?
この靴じゃね。
She slipped out of my arms, gave me a quick wink. Whoosh! Then removed her heels and hucked them like they were nothing. She rolled up her gown and tied it roughly yet securely in place.
さあ、行きましょうか。
Sure.
She took no issue with getting her beautiful silken socks dirty, much less rolling up her dress into a ball on her side. An outdated word popped into my mind, tomboy.
そうそう、忘れてた。自己紹介しなくちゃ。
No, that's not necessary. We've made it this far.
シルビアよ。シルビア・ル・クルスクラン。
I know. Just like that girl, the blonde one. That one, yeah.
Aren't there all blonde girls in this game, like from the menu screen?
Ah, well, okay. Then she's blonde girl number 1.
There is a review that I saw for this game that was titled "For Lovers of Blonde Wifeys."
That's a fitting assessment from what we've seen so far.
Yeah. Right.
She introduced herself with a smile while sprinting with all her might. While sprinkling with all her might. Here's some fairy dust as I go. A single glance at her face instantly told me she was a foreigner. Because
Apparently
the blonde
from fucking Ireland.
The blonde hair wasn't too much of a giveaway, I guess. The manner in which she curtsied and bowed her head was elegant, and all while running.
シルビーと呼んでちょうだい。
Oh, it's Ouro. Ichimatsu Ouro.
ほら、素敵。私の国で黄金という意味だわ。
Oh, the theme appears!
Oh, thanks.
Sylvie seemed pretty chill for someone who was being chased by kidnappers. In any case, we kept making our way swiftly down the road. Incidentally, where did this path lead? Actually, why was there a road on a desolate hill?
Huh.
到着。
Gates? A school?
A massive building had been built on this once empty hill a few years ago. There was a tall, lavish gate that extended behind it. Beyond that, there was a Western-styled palace that seemed incredibly out of place in Japan. At the very least, I couldn't tell what this building was supposed to be. I should have read what was on the sign next to the gateway, said if it was going to start... Wait. I should have read what the sign next to the gateway said if I was going to start drawing conclusions.
Well, maybe not, because we just learned he can't read.
That's okay, that sign has no effect on me. I can't read. Noble Private Academy. It does look pretty noble. And that's all I have to say about that.
So this is where Noble Academy is.
ご存知？
More or less, since I do live in the city.
All I knew was that it was a school for the super rich. It had only been around for a couple of years, but it had made headlines due to a decent percentage of Japan's politicians and bureaucrats sending their children here. I had heard that it was in the city, but I never knew its exact location. It was unexpectedly close by my house. Come to think of it, I guess I had heard Sylvie's name recently. Around April or so, I think. Something about a princess from some country was going to enroll in Noble Private Academy starting this year.
シルビア王女がさらわれただと？
What a shocker. When I turned around, I discovered a woman with unquestionable might burst from the building with an ear-piercing shriek. She must have not had the time to open the locked gate and simply leapt over it instead. Wait, that gate was at least 3 meters high. As she shouted into her cell phone at her hand.
即刻市内全域を緊急隔離。この国の警察は当てにならん。鬼神派ダイゼル部隊を動かせ。言い訳はいい。今そちらへ行く。待っていろ。
あら？エル、お出かけかしら？
はい、シルビー様。緊急事態です。今、シルビー様がさらわれたと。は？
Wait a minute.
ん？
They stole your line.
Yeah, and they stole both of them.
Ah!
エキスナ、ボラルコーチェ。こちら現在学園の門の前。シルビス。シルビア王女がいらっしゃるのだが、私をからかったのではないのだな。わかった。お前たちは後で始末書を出すように。姫様
何をピリピリしているの？おかしなエル。
誘拐されたと聞き、心臓が止まるかと思いました。
There you go, it's yours again. I didn't really get it either. But if my intuition was correct, I would likely be in poor standing with this person.
貴様が誘拐犯か！
No!
Team Rocket's blasting off again!
You just see him like ding in the fucking air.
Yep. I was sent flying before I even had the chance to panic, thus slamming my head into the ground. My wrists were firmly bound and I was arrested. However, my eyes were left spinning the moment I had been hurled, so what did it matter? This is what I thought as my consciousness faded. Goodbye.
Well, that was a good game.
Game over. All I wanted was to be golden. If there was a girl in distress, I would save her. That was the least I could do. As a result, I played into this foolish escape plan and got knocked out by a girl. You couldn't ask for a lamer ending than that. Showing off only caused problems. There's a life lesson there, kids. Don't show off. Well, at least that head injury probably didn't ruin your speaking ability.
I'm actually, like, every time that appears at this point, I'm laughing because I think I've had, like, 8 lines at this point that are ... which is amazing.
I know, you're like the dialogue equivalent of R2-D2. Except
R2-D2 has way more dialogue.
I was about to say, yeah, you're right. He's got way more variety in his lines. Sad boob.
シルビア様、シルビア・ル・クルス・クラウン、ソルティレージュ・シサー様は、
What?
Yeah, that's a mouthful.
誉れ高き、ソルティレージュ王国王家、シスア家の
No,
ご
we
息
get
女
to
で
the
あらせられ
mouthful
る。
in an H scene.
This is the Steam version. If we get a mouthful in this version,
we won.
we're gonna have problems.
Oh, no. You're a princess?
日本風に言うとそうなるわね。
ソルティレージュ国の第9王女、すなわち我が祖国、ソルティレージュの至宝とも呼ぶべきお方なのだが。
What are the other 8 princesses then?
Yeah, she's the greatest treasure. It's like, no one really cares about those 8 people.
The first 8 were just prototypes. This one's the real one.
そのことは知っていたか？
First I've heard of it.
そうか。ではひとまず腕を取るのはやめよう。ボラルコーチェ、剣を離せ。
We've evolved into our pupa stage.
はい。
The old man who had practically bound me from head to toe weighed me down and backed away with his saber drawn.
もうエルったら、ボラルコーチェにエキスナも誤解だと言ってるでしょ？
Yeah, you tell her.
It had taken every ounce of strength up to this point not to wet myself. While I was unconscious, they had tied me up and carried me into a room inside the academy. A large fraction of my earlier black-suited pursuers gathered around me in a small room with at least 100 more outside. It was probably safe to assume that there was no escape. They were likely irritated that I had shaken off such a huge force and glared at me harshly. My only ally...
彼は私が襲われていると勘違いして助けてくれた。それだけよ。
was this girl. It was a stroke of good luck that this was the princess who was under the care of these black-suited men was on my side.
しかしシルビア王女は、そう見せかけて本気でたばかる気だったかも。
あ、それはあるかも。
She wasn't very reliable, though. Womp womp. The leader of the black-suited men had a scary look in her eyes, which are slowly panning out of frame. Goodbye, eyes.
She's got huge tracts of land.
And she was the only one not wearing a simple black suit, but some rather foreign-looking garb. Yep, that's not a simple black suit, all right. Could it be rubber? It was so It was so pliably soft. Can I feel? No, I shouldn't. Anyway, it was pliably soft with custom-tailored seams. It was designed not to hinder her movements, yet still protected her body with its large metal plating. Wouldn't that make it armor then? Which meant that the long cylinder hanging from her waist was likely a scabbard. And that she was carrying a sword. Scary.
なんです？ジロジロと見て。
Your lovely cylinder at your side.
Well,
Was that sword legit? I wanted to ask, but was terrified of the answer.
エルは美人だから、殿方は見ちゃうわよね。
シルビー様。
that wasn't really it. But yeah, I guess she was gorgeous. Pretty blondes.
紹介するわ、オーロ。こちらこの駅士のエロイナ・ディ・カバレロイスタ。エルと呼んで。
Thank you. Because I certainly wasn't going to call her the other name.
私のそうね、一番のお友達よ。
A pleasure.
Heroina. Nope, let's not make fun of her name. She was carrying a blade and all. Okay, is that...
Oh, I get it now. Okay.
Wait. Like...
Heroi.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense in Japanese, actually.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like, well, okay. Yeah, okay.
I guess it works in English, too, because, like, I don't know, like, heroin.
Like the illicit
Hero,
substance.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, okay. We were on two different wavelengths with that. Never mind! Back to your regularly scheduled programming.
So then, Sylvia-san. Sama then.
Squash banana. That was probably more formal.
そんなかしこまらなくて結構よ。気軽にシルビーと呼んでほしいわ。
And I would prefer to not be massacred by the pretty lady in the skimpy outfit.
Then Sylvie. Sama.
Squash banana.
もう。
Royalty. That word sounded like it came straight out of a fantasy, but it was actually a relatively commonplace system in the world around us. We had an imperial family in Japan ourselves, and while you could call it a democracy, the politicians were all like royals who concentrated their authority under a single lineage ever since the Meiji Restoration. Little history lesson for you. You're welcome. Sortilège was also a name that I had heard before. They were a small but powerful nation located in Northern Europe and were said to wield immense clout throughout their trades with the EU. I had read about them on various news sites, and the royal Sortilège family were supposedly the biggest Japanophiles in Europe. There had been some talk of a princess studying abroad recently. Oh, that must have been Sylvia-san.
Anyway, that makes you a princess. Which means these guys are your bodyguards, right?
ええ、みんな私の頼れる護衛従者よ。
我らはソルティレージュ王室を代々お守りする騎士院のものだ。
Knights.
The round table. Yet another word that came straight out of a fantasy. Elisan's outfit did evoke a certain knightly impression, though. Upon closer inspection...
Don't do that. You're gonna get yourself in trouble.
Well, knightly impression.
I could see how sharply dressed the black-suited individuals were. They had an orderly air about them that screamed modern-day knight. Or, you know, mafia, gangsters. Black suits really don't narrow it down that much.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them looked like a kidnapper. I was a moron for jumping to conclusions.
騎士院のみんなはすごく優秀なのよ。交通網とともに外交の広がった20世紀以降ですら、王室に危険が及んだことなんて一度もないくらい。
歴々の誇りを汚さぬよう、我らも精進いたします。
だから私も安心なの。私は王室といっても第9王女。王位継承権にはだいぶ遠いのだけれど。
Good thing this isn't Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
でも、みんな私の護衛のために家族を国に置いて日本語までマスターしてついてきてくれたのよ。
我らはソルティレージュに忠誠を誓った者。
シルビア様のお身のためならば、国境の壁などあってなきがごとく。
シルビア王女万歳。王女様万歳。
えっへん。
Okay. That was some impressive charisma. Also, where did they get the confetti from?
I was about to say, what I really want to know is where's that confetti come from?
The school actually has confetti cannons all over the place, just for royalty. They all seem to admire her regardless of her social standing. Being a Japanese person, it didn't quite hit me that this was what royalty and guards were like. That sudden revelation only piqued my interest further.
So, what happened earlier?
Anyone would be concerned after their citywide banter.
あれは
そうでした。それも聞かないと。シルビー様、お昼休みに学園を抜け出してどこへ行かれていたのです？
Sylvia-san turned away with an uneasy look on her face. She snuck out of the academy during lunch? The royals and knights, who were straight out of fantasy, suddenly uttered lines you could hear in an everyday school-based manga.
確かなことは申せませんが、シルビア様が常々近くのパン屋のメロンパンに興味をお持ちでしたこと。本日突然昼食はいらぬと申し出しましたこと。
昨日そのパン屋が美味しかったと話されていた語学友の妃様と一緒に抜け出していたことに鑑みますに。
I'm not lying. I would sneak out from Melon Pan.
I've never actually had it, so I don't know if I would. Taiyaki, maybe.
I've snuck out for less, I'm sure.
Yeah, I believe that. Knowing you, I totally believe that.
それで抜け出したシルビア様を追跡し、見つけまして戻るようお伝えしたところ、予想外に抵抗されたのでございます。
市松さんが来たのがちょうどそこですね。
What a stellar defense. I was pretty embarrassed for showing off and making a break for it at that time.
だってまだ変えてなかったんだもの。あと30秒待ってくれればよかったのに。
Melon bread's the yeast of your concerns.
昼休みとはいえ、学園を抜け出すこと。加えて買い食い。どちらも学則に違反します。
Wait, sweets are against the rules?
Maybe... Yeah, that's weird. Or maybe it's against, like, rules for royalty or something. I don't know.
You already have things really well. You don't need sweets on top of that.
ブー。
Couldn't you just buy it on your way home?
あのお店のメロンパンはすごい人気なの。3時を過ぎたらほぼ売り切れちゃってるのよ。
買いに行くのが難しいというお気持ちはわかりますが、だったらエキスナにでも命じればよろしいのでは。
あ、その手があったわね。
She's not that smart. Glad to know that's your feedback as well. If that were the case, then why was I still being held captive and tied up into a little ball? The tremendous amount of effort being wasted in that moment left me exhausted.
Well, I understand what I've done now.
In a nutshell, I had shown off and barged my way into a world I was never meant to interact with.
Will I be charged for kidnapping?
そうなります。ボラルコーチェ、凝結剤の用意はできていますか？腕は落としても命までは取らぬように。
心得ております。
Oh, hold on a second.
I don't want to be a human slot machine. I'd finally gotten a handle on the situation, but I could seriously do without the blades. The older man especially had his sword drawn the entire time.
I understand I made a mistake, but you know, you're in the wrong here too. I was only worried for her safety. Don't you see that?
そうよみんな。オーロはいい人だと思うわ。
It would be a huge problem if I were to lose an arm over this. I pleaded my case desperately. I mean, I think it would be a huge problem to lose an arm over any situation, but different strokes, I guess?
He has another.
Yeah, but which one does he write with? I guess we don't know.
No, I guess we don't. Like
that pause in the music was really funny. It was just like, that's a very pregnant pause right there.
Yeah.
Even the soundtrack was like, huh.
No, the soundtrack's like, oh, you're asking the real questions now.
These are the important things the audience wants to know.
You know, we may find out by the end of the game. That's a thing. Keep watching.
Stay tuned. The black-suited guards hadn't turned on me yet, thanks to Sylvia-san backing me up, but...
ことはそう単純ではありません。
Excuse me?
Pardonnez-moi!
我らもバカではない。誤解であろうことは分かっています。だが、あろうで判断するわけにはいかないから、現在機構の身の上を精査しているところです。
I like your, pardonnez-moi as done by Farmer Fran from Waterboy.
Merci beaucoup. Yeah. Yeah. You can't see what I'm doing, but
Also, who was it? Joe Dirt also, actually.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a really good scene. Investigating me?
現在まで入っている情報では、名前は市松王子
Yes.
That is me. That is who I am. I'm not this Ouro person at all.
Ouro, the last character in my name can be read as Ouro.
失敬市松オーロ殿
いい名前よね。
縁起が良いですな。
Oji probably would have been a better omen though, since that would, translate to the Japanese word for prince.
おお、英語で言うプリンスを日本では王子というのだったわね。
This is a very educational VN.
You know, I'm not really learning that much.
Fair enough.
Not that really matters though.
Yeah, that's an appropriate follow-up.
Yeah.
More importantly, I was worried about how deep their investigation was going to go, especially with how much effort they were putting into comprehending the characters in my name. The documents Alisan were perusing were densely worded. It had only been around half an hour. Just how in-depth had their investigation into my private life gone?
市松オーロ宗教的、経済的に特に危険思想らしき面は見られない。
I was never part of the Eco-Shu uprising.
You don't need to worry about me. Luckily, they genuinely seemed willing to listen to reason. They were doing their jobs as Sylvia-san's bodyguards by confirming I wasn't the sort of person who would conspire or abduct a member of the royal family. Looks like I was saved. I was an ordinary commoner, as utterly peaceful as I could be. Just a young man, the sort you could find anywhere, the typical kind of protagonist you see in these type of visual novels, nothing particularly interesting about me whatsoever, basically an NPC.
先日インターネット通販で父親のパスを使って18金のゲームを購入していますね。
Not only is he technically a PC, but he's being played by two people.
That's more characterization than the average protagonist gets by far. I'm just trying to think what Link's internal monologue is the entire time in all of the Legend of Zelda games. It's like, this shit again. How many times
I wonder if I left the oven on. I don't.
What happened to that fairy in my past life?
How do my timelines work?
Oh god, I feel like I'm in the movie Big. Why am I big?
Aw, man.
Just all of Ocarina of Time.
I had forgotten the movie Big existed.
Oh, yeah. Either that or, what was it, Jack with Robin Williams?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, technically, if you ever saw Shazam, that's basically, to me, like, what if Big were a superhero movie? That's actually kind of why I liked it.
I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard really good things. I want to see that. I know I'm way behind the curve.
It's better than most of the DC films, so that's something.
Yeah, you know, that's about what I expect at this point.
黒きバラの姫騎士ローザ、クッ殺せ、純真な姫は多くの種汁になど屈しない。何ですか
Look, that is a very Japanese title in that it's like a paragraph and tells you more than you probably want to know about it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that does give you a rundown of the game. I swear, it sounds like a Panic at the Disco song.
Or like the title of like a Dragon Ball Super episode where it tells you everything that happens in the episode you're about to watch.
Which, I mean, really wouldn't necessarily be that hard if it's like the Namek saga. It's just like, this time on Dragon Ball Z. Ah! Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Ah!
When it's like a Namek Saga episode, like, when is 5 minutes over? Not yet. This episode.
I didn't realize that the entirety of Namek ran on Doctor Time.
Look, it happens.
種汁
Can't get over that. Soupy seed. Ooh. The soupy seed's done. Royalty had some impressive intelligence gathering capabilities.
女性を凌辱することを主題に置いたゲームですな。
貴様、シルビア様に近づいた理由はそれか。
It's not like that.
It's exactly like that. Being a typical young man had clearly backfired on me.
王女にその乱りがわしいことをしようという思想はあるのだろう。
I mean, on an extraordinarily generic level, but not enough that I would actually ever consider it. Also, it was because she was a princess knight. The princess part was a bonus. Her primary attribute was being a female knight. Shit.
I shouldn't have said that. Probably shouldn't have told a legit female knight that.
貴様
Ah.
It's a huge misunderstanding.
ねえ、エキスナ。領辱って何？知らない日本語だわ。
不明です。日本語は難しいですね。調べちゃダメですよ。
Counterpoint, do look it up.
ボラルコーチェ、剣技はいかほどです。この男は腕を取るべきか。
Please don't.
まあまあ、落ち着いてください、部隊長殿。若い男のこと、これぐらいが俗というものです。
Luckily, the older man intervened.
それにこのゲーム、なかなか評判がよろしいようですぞ。ほうほう、シナリオ担当はチクタク重工。良いご趣味をされてますな。
Thanks, Master Roshi.
Yeah, he's just sitting there. Oh, yeah, it's very good, man. The H scenes are amazing from what someone told me. Definitely didn't download a 18 patch.
Yep, I totally was just reading it for the dialogue, that's it. This gentleman was pretty in the know, huh? I mean, that's one way of putting it.
人気に押されてという面もございましょう。これだけで人格を判断するのはいささか乱暴かと。
まあいい。まだ剣技は不十分としておきます。
Oh, saved by the music change. What was perhaps the wisdom that came with age had calmed me down.
父上の ID を使うのはいかがかと思いますがな。
I apologize for that.
This too was typical for any young man.
他には、 特になし。
The scope of her investigation didn't appear to have turned up anything especially suspicious. She set the documents face down.
だがこれは。
She was still suspicious of me. This time, her eyes darted toward my confiscated belongings. Elisan searched my pockets, revealing my wallet, smartphone, house keys, and...
あら、チョコボーロ
I bought those at the convenience store earlier.
They were ordinary sweets.
いいわね、チョコボーロ。私も大好きよ。でも変ね。パッケージが赤いわ。
いちご味？おかしい。チョコボーロはナッツとキャラメル味しかないはずです。違法な薬の梱包にお菓子を偽ったパックを使うのは運び屋の常套手段。
Wow, she is very suspicious.
Strawberry, green tea, and other flavors are regularly available in Japan.
Go buy some at your local convenience store today. They might only export limited varieties overseas, though. That's pretty realistic.
Yeah, actually, like a lot of companies, like crisp companies, will have stuff that's only in specific countries, and actually, like even McDonald's actually has completely different menus. Mostly.
Yeah, I know, that's always really interesting.
Yeah, like you can get like a McD there and stuff like that. It's kind of awesome.
And you see, I have no idea what that is. Yep.
And you're not going to.
You're probably right.
10年ぶりの日本だけど知らなかったわ。ねえ、オーロ、お一ついいかしら。
No, they're mine. Get your own.
Go ahead.
Was my internal monologue.
おいしい。
姫様、いけません。ペしてペン。
We haven't gotten to that H scene yet.
And we never will. This is the Steam version, so y'all calm down. This was turning into more of a comedy skit by the second, but I was still all wrapped up with the gigantic saber laid beside me.
久しぶりね、チョコボーロ。
昔からお好きでしたな。そういえば。
ジーヤにはよく無理を言ってたくさん買ってこさせたわよね。私、この子大好きなの。キュロちゃん。かわいい。
She poked at the character on the packaging, which resembled a round baby chick. It was most important that she had taken a liking to it, circumstances aside. After eating a couple of pieces, she put it back with my belongings.
ねえ、エル。私、やっぱりどう考えても、オーロが悪い人だとは思えないわ。だって、あんなに楽しかったのは初めてだもの。殿方に連れられて街を逃避行だなんて。
はあ。
Whisked away. The way she kind of put it made me blush.
まあ、悪い人でないというのは根拠のない直感だけど。まず、彼とあんなことになったのは、私が彼にぶつかりに行ったからよ。みんな見ていたわよね。
はい。
それに、誘拐犯なら逃げ道くらい用意するでしょうに、私に言われた通り、この学園へやってきたのよ。それも、途中から私を離して一人で走らせて。はい、これが証拠よ。
She gently lifted up the hem of her skirt and revealed her beat-up holy socks from running on the concrete.
以上。こんな愉快な誘拐犯さんがいるかしら。
Holy beat up socks, Batman.
Aha!
That's right, that's right.
Not only had she saved me, but she was offering up a well-reasoned defense while keeping her cool. Despite her absent-minded behavior, her mind remained sharp. However...
シルビア様。ですからこれは、そう単純な問題ではありません。
Well, why not?
What?
Her defense sounded flawless to me. Not only was Sylvia-san batting for me, but all of the black-suited guards surrounding us were witnesses. But...
シルビア様のおっしゃることはもっともではある。思想背景の調査は途中だが、これはもう形骸的なものだと考えていい。姫騎士の件はともかく。
Hey, you're the one that's making it weird.
ごめんなさい。
He said, I apologize for that.
問題は事実として、貴公の手でシルビア様が我ら護衛を務める騎士院から強奪されたことにあります。例えば貴公が花屋から花を盗んだとしよう。わざと一輪ポケットに突っ込んで店を出た。これはですが、ふと落ちた花が一輪ポケットに入ってしまい、貴公が気づかずに店を出る。これもまた罪であることに変わりはないのです。
Now that she mentioned it,
無論花屋のことであれば、気づいた時点で引き返し、現物を戻せば罪には問われまい。だが、王族に同じことをすれば、それは極刑に値します。
Well, even in Japan, I'm sure the cops would show up if someone kidnapped a little kid and turned themselves in later, claiming it was all a mix-up. I understood her logic.
我ら騎士院の伝統に従えば、王族をかどわかした者の刑罰で最も軽いものは利き腕の没収です。いかがかな？
I wish you would spare me.
I get where she was coming from, but I'd sooner not have my life or my arm taken from me.
私も嫌よ、エル。腕を取るなんて血がすごく出るわ。
シルビー様ならそうおっしゃられるでしょう。ですが、エキスナ、公安はどうなった？
The authorities?
もういいと言っても、市松さんの情報をどんどん送ってくる。収まりそうにありません。あなた、2週間前にもエッチなゲームを買ってるわね。やりすぎじゃない？
Hey, how long does it take you to get through one?
Don't judge me.
You can't judge me for this. You can judge me for other things, but not for this.
That's totally normal.
Yeah, what he said.
Wait a second. When you say the authorities, do you mean the police?
ああ、貴公が逃げたとき、この国の警察も同時に動いている。
貴公のしたことはれっきとした国際問題ですからな。
Good thing I've got diplomatic immunity. Oh wait, no I don't.
It's just been revoked.
That made sense.
留学時の取り決めで、王族に気球の事態があれば、日本警察は超法規的に我々に裁量権を委ねるため、現時点で貴公の身は我々に委ねられています。だがシルビア様のおっしゃる通り、貴公を無罪放免とすれば、今度は日本の公安が貴公を捕まえることになる。
超法規的措置を放棄するわけですからな。当然、今度は日本の警察が裁きにかかるわけです。
What?
This had turned into a major incident before I even knew it.
Why's that?
我らが超法規的な存在。つまり、日本警察の関与しない存在だからです。
でなければ公安は対面上、貴公を取り囲んでいる我々を拉致暴行未遂としてしょっぴかねばなりませんからな。
True. If I were innocent, it would amount to mob violence. They would all be guilty of crimes on their own.
我々と日本警察は裁量を共通しないわけです。我々があなたを無実にしても、日本警察はあなたを無実にはしません。国賓への拉致誘拐事件の容疑者。それが我々の裁量を外れた時点での日本警察にとってのあなたの立場です。
But couldn't the police also find me innocent?
ならんでしょうな。あなたが国賓を捕まえて逃げたのは確かですから。
No, I didn't. Oh.
日本の刑法には詳しくない。他国の王室に誘拐の嫌疑がかかることをしたことで、貴公にどんな罪状が課せられるかは知らない。
しかし日本国の対面上、国際関係を重視して誘拐犯のことは最低でもシルビア様がご卒業され国に帰るまでの間は外に出さぬでしょうな。
取り調べの形でシルビア様ご卒業まであと1年半。特例措置として延々交流延長し続けて。罪状をどうするかはその後ね。
Please give me a break.
I assumed that meant I'd be thrown in jail. My life would be harsher than a reform school, and I'd be all alone. Losing a year and a half of my life would be rough, and I definitely didn't want that to happen.
だから今困っています。腕と交流、どっちがいい？
I choose neither.
Put my arm in jail.
Arm jail.
Wait.
Isn't that basically like when your arm falls asleep and you just can't move it, so you're just flailing around? Oh, that hurts so bad.
Neither.
Like I said. That went beyond an ultimatum. There was no way I could choose.
公安から寄せられた彼の情報が揃いましたけど、やはり問題のある失踪は見られませんね。
ということはやはりあれは善意からの逃避行。我らも責めたくはないのですが。
You could just let me go.
外に出たら公安に捕まりますよ。
Or I could stay here.
Should I stay or should I go? What a dilemma. I guess getting the approval of everyone here wasn't enough. With that, Sylvia-san put her fingers against her cheek and said,
エキスナ、公安の方々には何て伝えたの？
あ？正体不明の男に王女様がかどわかされた、と。
そう。じゃあ、こういうのはどうかしら。
Sylvia-san popped her hands together.
オーロ、あなた、このノーブル学園の生徒にならない？
Huh?
あなたは今日転入する手はずだったの。それで私はあなたを案内してあげたのよ。正体不明の男でなく、お友達なの。私を連れ去った男は。ジーヤたちはそれを勘違いした。で、ちょっと恥ずかしい立場になってしまうけど。
我らの恥は問題ではございません。シルビア様のお気持ち一つにございます。
Thanks, Roshi.
じゃあ、あとは、オーロの気持ち一つね。どうかしら、オーロ。
Moving in?
Wasn't this a school for the super rich? It may have been a sudden suggestion, but it was economically questionable.
We'll compromise. You put me in the all-girls dorm and we're good.
No, that's a completely different plotline.
Yeah.
That would be the extra story. More than that, I wasn't in a position to really consider going to school anymore.
ダメなの？
Well...
腕か交流か、転入です。
Well, when you put it that way.
Well, I'll move in.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Your hospitality is swell. When she put it that way, I had no choice but to give that immediate answer.
やったー！これでオーロはクラスメートね。
Everyone around us looked a bit puzzled, but
ジーヤ、手続きはよろしく。
Sylvia-san had already made up her mind. What?
Grampy. She calls him Grampy.
Grampy. Thanks for all the help, Grampy.
Smell you later, Grampy.
Oh, that's just my son Blue. He's her grandson Blue. He's an asshole.
She's just gonna take an Eevee and win 10 out of 8 badges.
How does that make you feel? With that, the army of black-suited guards surrounding us.
了解しました。そのように処置いたします。
お願い。
はい。
すべてはシルビア様の望む通りに。
They dispersed, looking like they approved. It appeared that this princess's orders were absolute. Things were still a little chaotic, but it gave me peace of mind that the old man with the saber had left. Grampy. Additionally, judging by her visible elation, Sylvia-san seemed much more relaxed and stress-free.
参ったな。
I think this is a pretty
Yeah, I
good
think
stop.
that's a good. Yeah, I think it is too.
Yep.
I do really like the sense of humor in this so far. I really like it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. There are a couple of jokes that I don't know if I just didn't get them or what the deal was, but yeah, I like it so far.
No, I like it because I want to say the most recent VN I played had a much different tone, so I'm glad this is just like, let's go with comedy.
Yeah, I get that. I know sometimes when you get one of those really serious ones, it's just like, whoa, I need something to pull me back from this.
Well, thank you all for watching. Definitely tune in for part 2.
We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope you continue to do so. For now, we're the Bridge Boys signing off.